Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. The Yankees get beat down again by the Toronto Blue Jays in embarrassing fashion. They lose by a final score of 13-7. That's really misleading. Like if anything, game one, that final score was 10-1. That in reality was closer. Now, nothing to be proud of for the Yankees, but it was. I mean, it was a one-run game going to the bottom of the seventh. This was a total blowout. It was at one point 12-0 going to the sixth. So the Yankees end up scoring 7 runs, 2 runs in the sixth, 5 in the seventh. The game was long over. So this was a game the Yankees had to have, and they didn't get it. So if you're a Toronto fan, you're feeling good. The Rogers Center is a house of horrors for the Yankees at this point. Yankees 1-8 this season, combined regular season and postseason this year in Toronto. And Trey Yesavage was unbelievable. Totally shut the Yankees down. That splitter gave the Yankees fits. He wins 1-0 in the postseason, 5 1/3 innings, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 11 strikeouts. He had 10 strikeouts through 4 innings. It was a Cam Schlittler-esque start. Different. No sense in necessarily comparing the two, but it was. It was an amazing outing for a young rookie starter. And on the flip side, Max Fried was horrendous. Max Fried, now 0-1 in the postseason. Now he pitched very well, of course. In the wild card round against Garrett Crochet here, 3+ innings, 8 hits, 7 earned, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. Just really, really bad from a guy that, it was dependent upon to be the stopper. He's this year's ace of the staff. And he really just dropped the ball in a major, major way. If this series, if he doesn't get the pitch again, that's a tough way to end it for Max Fried. And what has mostly been a very good year for him. There was that period of time where he had some struggles, but it's an unacceptable outing for him. But the offense was terrible too. Nothing redeeming at all from a Yankees standpoint about this game. Will Warren comes in and he gave up 4 home runs. He ends up pitching 4 2/3 innings, throws 84 pitches, 7 hits, 6 third runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. So pretty much just comes in there, doesn't pitch well, but he, gets, a lot of the length for the Yankees. So the bullpen's basically fresh heading back to Yankee Stadium. Luke Weaver actually got the last out of the 8th inning. So Luke Weaver has finally retired an opposing batter in the postseason. No longer 6 on the 6 batters. It's actually now 6 for 7. So, for whatever that's worth. But Yankee lineup was the same as it was in game 1 as game 2. Will we see some tweaks in game 3? Quite possibly. Maybe. I don't think anything wholesale, but, maybe just minor movements. And for the Blue Jays, it was more of a right-handed oriented lineup. So, I say, look, there's not going to be much to discuss here, really. It was really bad. But, after we're done going through this, we'll discuss sort of thoughts going into game 3 and things like that. But, I guess in talking about the lineup and just sort of looking at the stats again, a lot of the stuff's misleading from this game, really. This Judge's numbers on the postseason look really good, but that game 1 strikeout against Kevin Gausman, that might be the one moment that you look back on as okay, that was where it ended in a way. Hopefully that's not the case, right? And maybe there's more twists and turns and storylines to this series. But let's say the Yankees go down in 3 or something like that, or even go down in 4. There's a good chance you're looking back at that game 1 moment with Aaron Judge. But he does have, the best numbers, besides Paul Goldschmidt, who really doesn't have that many at-bats. But for the few times he's been in there, he's been solid. But yeah, look, it's pretty bad across the board. Trent Grisham's been terrible. I guess I'll just go through real quick. Trent Grisham's been really bad. Cody Bellinger has also been really bad, although he ends up getting a 2-run homer in this game. Ben Rice, the numbers end up actually being pretty good in this game, but he, has struck out a lot. Giancarlo Stanton, it's been rough, even though he did some things in this game. Jazz, even though he's had some fun defensive moments on the bases, at the plate, Jazz has not done much. And Ryan McMahon's actually been one of the more consistent players. He actually was the one starter who didn't strike out today. Ryan McMahon, of all people. So actually give him a little bit of credit for kind of, as far as expectations, he's been okay. Anthony Volpe is starting to come back down. He went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in this one, even though Volpe, has been really good defensively. Again, he's someone that I look at as more on the positive side. And then Austin Wells, like, it's a little unfair for him. Like, probably should have maybe been a hit on that Nathaniel Lowe. Again, I'm looking at it from like a statistical standpoint. Like, I don't have much of a problem really with the bottom of the order. It's really the guys that you need, the 1 through 5 or 6, that you're not getting nearly enough from. You're just not. And so, again, Yesavage strikes at the side to start the first. Bottom of the first, Fried gets into a little bit of trouble, but gets out of it on Alejandro Kirk double play. And the bottom of the second is where it begins for the Blue Jays. Dalton Varsho doubles down the line, goes towards the right field corner, a little before that, towards the wall near the foul line, and the ball goes by Judge. That can't happen there. That really can. So now it's running on third, no out. So a double turns worse on the Judge error. And then Ernie Clement, I'm not sure how this ball exactly went out. One hand kind of swing by Ernie Clement, curveball by Max Fried. It's a home run. Ernie Clement, first home run of the postseason. Ernie Clement had that home run, I think, maybe 2 months, but that makes it 2-0 Blue Jays. Top of the third, Yesavage strikes out the side. Volpe, Wells, and Grisham. What was so frustrating is in a lot of cases, swinging at ball 4. In a lot of cases. And there was probably pitches to hit early in that bats. Didn't happen. And then he just wiped him out with the splitter. It was truly pathetic. And Yesavage is the type of guy that would cause problems for the Yankees, but still, that's no excuse. This is a guy that was making his, like 4th start of his whole career in the major leagues. It's unacceptable, and it's another thing with this Yankee team in most of these postseasons where the offense just falls flat. It just does. Bottom of the third is where the Blue Jays really start to break it open even more. 1-out walk Davis Schneider, which cannot happen for Max Fried. Single for Vlad Guerrero Jr. makes it first and third, 1 out, and then Alejandro Kirk, RBI ground out. Again, the beauty of the Blue Jays is they don't strike out. They make contact, and when you do that, it make, like Kirk, he didn't hit the ball hard, but by putting it in play, it scores a run. Runner on second, 2 out. Dalton Varsho, lefty, mind you, doubles again off of Fried. Past the dive of Ben Rice, makes it 4-0 Toronto. Then, Ernie Clement, RBI single, makes it 5-0 Blue Jays. 4th inning, what does Yesavage do? He strikes out the side. 10 strikeouts through 4 innings for Yesavage. And the bottom of the 4th is when it completely unravels. Infield single Andres Jimenez, walk to Miles Straw, which is just ridiculous by Max Fried. And now Will Warren comes in. He walks George Springer. He gets Davis Schneider to strike out looking, and then who is it? Vlad Guerrero Jr. Second homer of the series, a grand slam. So Vlad has really made his presence felt. And there were other players too. I mean, Dalton Varsho had an amazing game. Ernie Clement as well. George Springer gets in on the act, but Vlad has been sort of the guy. But again, like you look at some of these numbers, it's kind of insane. And again, specifically Vlad, Kirk, Varsho, Clement. But yeah, Will Warren was just serving up batting practice. Dalton Varsho, a couple batters later, 2-run homer, makes it 11-0 Toronto. Top of the 5th, Jazz hits a ground ball that probably could have been ruled a hit, but they call it an error on Vlad, so it keeps Yesavage's no-hitter intact for whatever the hell that's worth, which is really nothing. But bottom of the 5th, again, off of Warren, George Springer, 2-out homer, makes it 12-0. Top of the 6th, Yesavage gets Wells to pop out, and they take him out. Standing ovation, 5 1/3, no-hit innings for Yesavage, just absolutely dominates the Yankees. They bring on Justin Bruhel, the lefty, and it's an infield single for Judge to end the Toronto no-hitter. And then next batter, Cody Bellinger, who just, again, has been very disappointing. In the postseason, he does homer, 2-run homer to make it 12-2. Bottom of the 6th, Dalton Varsho's at it again as he homers. His second homer of the game, 4th extra base hit of the game, makes it 13-2. 7th inning, Yankees would get something going against the lefty Eric Lauer, and then righty Tommy Nance. What ends up happening, it's cut to the chase, and I will say Paul Goldschmidt pinch hits for Wells and gets a single in this inning, but Aaron Judge gets an RBI single off of Tommy Nance after Eric Lauer is taken out. Sack fly Cody Bellinger, and actually a very nice play by Miles Straw on left. A RBI double for Ben Rice to make it 13-5. A 2-run single by Stan to make it 13-7. So in this moment, the Yankees make it respectable on the scoreboard, but realistically, there was no chance that anything was going to happen. Mason Fluharty, lefty, comes in and gets Jazz to ground out to end the inning. Top of the 8th, Louis Varland comes on. gives a 1-2-3 inning for Toronto. And then bottom of the eighth, Warren gets 2 outs, and then Luke Weaver comes on, gets the one at a Dalton Varsho to end the eighth. And then top of the ninth, Sir Anthony Dominguez comes on. Couple of walks in the mix with Judge and Rice, but he strikes that stand to end the game. Blue Jays win 13-7, take a 2-0 series lead. So now the series shifts to the Bronx. It's going to be Shane Bieber versus Carlos Rodon. So I guess the thoughts here. A veteran pitching matchup here. Shane Bieber has 3 postseason appearances, 3 starts. 2 of those are actually against the Yankees. All with the Guardians. 2020, he got lit up. And Shane Bieber at that point was really at the top of his heights, I feel like. And the Yankees really got to him in 2020 in Cleveland. But then in 2022, really a couple of very good performances. One versus the Rays, where he was great in the wild card round. And then he had one against the Yankees. It was a no decision, but the Guardians won that game. He pitched pretty well. More good than bad for sure. Not necessarily, I don't know, like Bieber is someone that's tough. And he has experience. I don't think going to Yankee Stadium is going to phase him at all. But, it's different than Trey Yesavage. Obviously, I think there could be some level of success for the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. But again, it's hard to be confident in this team with the way they've looked. And so we'll see, right? It is a fairly even type matchup. Carlos Rodon did not pitch all that well against Boston. And so, he has to rebound. Again, it wasn't awful. He kept them in it, but it was not great. And there's a lot more to be had there. What will Rodon do in an elimination game? We have not seen that. Carlos Rodon last year did not pitch an elimination game. He pitched, I'd say the closest thing to that was an outing against the Dodgers where they were down 1-0 in the series at Dodger Stadium in game 2. And he really did not pitch all that well in that game at all, quite frankly. Now, it was on the road. And Rodon has had overall more success at home. It's going to be tough. Toronto looks good right now. But like I have said, home field in this series is important. The Yankees can't get swept. That is unacceptable. Simply unacceptable for that to happen. And I think that they can find a way to win, but the outlook on this series is bleak, right? Because I had said that for the Yankees to win this series, it would have to be in 4. And, as far as game 5 goes, if it gets there, that's a tough task. It's a really tough, that's a best case scenario now for the Yankees to find a way to win 2 games at home, only to go back to Toronto where they simply have been terrible. So you got to take it one game at a time. The series is not over. The Yankees in their history are actually 2-2 when trailing 2-0 in best of 5 series. And the 2 wins were 2001. And obviously that was a really great team. 2001 ALDS against the A's. But the one that's more relevant and more similar, I guess, was against Cleveland in 2017, where the Yankees lost the first 2 games on the road. A regular season Cleveland team that was very good. And the Yankees found a way to win a couple of games at home, and then they actually won on the road in Cleveland in game 5. So, and again, only Judge was on that team. It's a completely different Yankee team. It was Joe Girardi's last year as manager, so there's not a whole lot there. But in their history, they have had some success in these situations. And so, I think the Yankees have it in them to certainly win game 3. And then once you get to game 4, it's there, but not what you wanted. You would have felt way, way better at 1-1, and it didn't happen. So game 1 hurt in the sense that there was an opportunity in the middle of that game for the Yankees to turn, to basically have that game be flipped on its head. They don't do it. What hurts about game 2 is that you're going in there thinking that you might have an advantage on the pitching matchup, and it couldn't have been anything further than that. It was all Trey Yesavage and nothing for Max Fried. So now we see what happens. And like I said, can't get swept. Just can't happen. As good as the Blue Jays are, and they're really good. And honestly, it's going to be tough for the Yankees to win the series. That's just the facts. But I think that the Yankees will find things a little bit easier at home. But again, really, really disappointing what they've done all year at Rogers Center. Blue Jays they can't strike. They typically can't strike Blue Jays out. Blue Jays, they're hitting home runs. The offense is going crazy. 23 runs in the first 2 games of the series. I think that's a major league record in the postseason for 23 runs in the first 2 games of a series. And that's what we're looking at. So we'll see. But the Yankees get absolutely obliterated in Toronto. And don't let that score mislead you. The final score is 13-7, but it was a lot worse than that. So Blue Jays take the first 2 games in Toronto. Yankees will look to return the favor as they head back home on the brink of elimination. They will look to extend their season Tuesday night.